Good day, everybody. Welcome to our foundation phase webinar. I'll just give a minute or two for the rest of the attendees to log in. I see they're still coming in, so let's just give them a minute or two. Thank you. I see there's still some people joining our session. Welcome to you. We will start in a minute. System takes a while to let everybody in. So welcome to you. I've got a question here. Do we need a microphone? Mine isn't working. No, you don't need a microphone. You can just type your questions. I'm looking at your questions as they come in. I've got two colleagues also on the line. They will also assist with your questions, so you don't have to talk at all. Okay. This number is still climbing. Let's give it 30 more seconds before we start. Okay, let's start with our foundation phase webinar. Warm welcome to everybody of you. Let's jump in. Okay, before we begin, I am Hilda Erasmus. I am head of the foundation phase at Impact, and I will present you a webinar on how to start with homeschooling and what you can do to make the best out of it. So if you're struggling to hear me, make sure that your audio is on and that the volume is turned up. So if you cannot hear me, just check that to start with, and then you will automatically be muted when joining the sessions. Should you have any questions, you can ask your question in the question box below on the right, or you can raise your hand. I will prefer that you type your questions out. I think that is the fastest way that you will be able to get help. My two colleagues, Marika and Suzanne, is also on the back end. They are going through the questions. So if you have something that's maybe not relevant to this session, you're still welcome to ask them, and they will answer you to the best of their abilities. So you can click on the hand icon. So there's a hand icon on your screen. So please click on it so that we can see that you're there and that you know what's going on. Maybe through the session, I'll ask you just to show you your hands. So if everybody can click on your hands. There, thank you. I see a few hands. Yolandi Olivier, I can see you. Daryl LaRue. Papsi Clear. Good. Yes, I can see your hands. So thank you for that. Then the presentation is available, so you can look at your screen. There's a handout, and in the handout box is the presentation, so you don't have to write everything down. You can just print it and use it for future reference. Yes, and remember to send us questions. I will, throughout the presentation of each section, I will just check the questions, go through them if they're relevant to the presentation and if I can answer you. And at the end, we will have a question session as well. So you can wait till the end for your questions, or you can ask throughout the session. Okay, let's start. Good, this is the points we will discuss today. Why homeschooling, then where to start, then multi-grade teaching, you have got more than one learner or child, and then at the last point we will focus a little bit on mathematics. Okay, why homeschooling? So we are in uncertain times now, and a lot of people are considering homeschooling, and this is a brand new concept for them. And why should you consider this in the first place? Some people think it's a negative thing or it's only for learners with special needs, but why is this a good idea? Okay. Good. So we will start with self-paced learning. Okay. There's no rush to start. You can wake up, drink your coffee in the morning, and have a nice breakfast with your kids. And at 9 o'clock, you can start. There's no rush, there's no school hours, there's nothing that you need to do or have to do. So there's no rush to start in the morning. And your times are flexible. So less time is needed than in schools. So in the schools where you have to move in between classes and the teacher standing in front of the school and say sit down and do this and do that and giving all the instructions, and by the time everybody is settled down and busy with their work, the teacher can start presenting the lesson. That wastes a lot of time in schools. So the school's hours will differ in homeschooling. You will use a lot less time in homeschooling when you do the homeschooling. This webinar is recorded, so yes, it will be available afterwards as well. Then, if you have got any hobbies or interests, there's a lot of impact learners that we have. One do sports, they practice in the morning, and in the afternoons they do their homeschooling. There's from some of our kids do music lessons in the morning. In the afternoon, they study their schoolwork, so they can live a passion without being at school and those restrictions. Okay, then the results. So it's one-on-one learning. So when you sit with a child one-on-one, you usually get better marks. I'm not promising anything, but if you sit with a learner, that is what you will get. And you save money. You can look at our packages. It's way cheaper than school fees, so you will save a lot of money doing that. And you can use that extra money for field trips. That's something that schools usually hold back on because it's expensive. Use those for nice school trips. Look at the life skills projects and visit the zoo, visit the planetarium. You can do a lot more with that extra money than spending it on school fees. I will get to the structure right away. Good, then special needs children. Learners with difficulties can benefit, and I don't necessarily say special needs. We have a lot of special needs children as well. But those children in the classroom who really struggle to keep up with the pace, who really struggle to listen to the teacher, to sit in an environment with, say, 40 other kids, they struggle and they get lost. And the moment you put them on a one-to-one basis, they start to bloom and have a whole other child than you would have had in school. So that is a great one, and the stress and to take that learners out of stressful situations. So a teacher shouting on the child or something stressful happening at school. So the child is relaxed and you are relaxed and the teaching is way better than that. Okay, then social development. Now that is one of the big points that always linger with homeschooling. What about my child's social development? At school, there's a lot of other kids, there's a lot of other activities that they can do, extracurricular activities. They need that's a social bonding, so they are correct. But learners do not have to impress their friends. Sometimes the peer pressure is quite high and the children need to perform in a certain way, act in a certain way, wear certain clothes. So all those peer pressure is gone. So let's play a game. Now, I am going to assume that most of you have Facebook and that you do have a lot of friends on Facebook. So how many friends do you have on Facebook? Please don't go and look it up right now, but just sit by yourself and think, let's say it's between 200, maybe 500 friends on Facebook. So that is usually where it stands. Okay, with how many of them do you have regular conversations? Okay, you can, I think most of you can say, okay, with most of them, I don't. Some of them are family members. Let's take the family members out. How many of those friends do you actually contact on a regular basis and say, hi, how are you doing? How many of them do you see once a year? I think the list is limited. Like I said, a lot of family members living far apart, a lot of old school friends you got on there that you actually, it's nice to see what they're doing, but you never actually talk to them. And never mind talk, how many of them do you see once a year? How many of them do you see once a month? I think the list is way shorter now. And the last one, how many do you see once a week? I think only a best friend you will see maybe twice a month. And those best friends are the ones that you need. And how many of them are there? You do not have 15 or 16 best friends. It's usually one or maybe two. You go drink coffee once a week or something like that. And that's with children the same. All they need is one or two good friends. You take them out, uh, take them on field trips together. It's a good idea to see if you can find other homeschooling parents as well to share your child's dreams with and so forth. So that is on how many how to or why to homeschool. So I will answer a few questions just to see if you're awake and show me your hands again. I see there is a few questions. I will unmute you now. Let me just check. Okay, structure. Um, Okay, there's a question from Andrews. What kind of support is provided from Impact? We also get the books. I think that refers to the departmental books, or are the curriculum different? And is there online support or guidance? So I am available. I am working with Impact. You are welcome to call me anytime. So we have a lot of teams, and when it comes to the content, so you're struggling with mathematics or you don't know how to present a lesson, you are welcome to call me at any time. Then we provide books. I myself, with co-writer, write most of these books, and we will send you the whole package. It's a facilitator's guide with workbooks and learning aids, everything you need for the subject. And then we do use the CAPS curriculum. So you will be able to take your child to the school next year if you would like to do that, and they can just continue where they left off. So we do not use the books of the Department of Education, but it is in the same trend written. So your kid won't fall behind or do different curriculum. You can chop and change between homeschooling and school as you wish. So let's see if there's another one. Does Impact arrange homeschool functions where we can make contact with other homeschoolers? There is a few functions that we do throughout the year, but I think Marika will answer you on that. We do not have extracurricular activities like a rugby center or something like that, but there is some activities that they can participate in. I usually suggest that there is a lot of homeschoolers in your community. Look if you can get yourself to be part of that homeschoolers community. I know there's a lot of groups and people coming together to do the homeschooling. Can we get assistance for robotics? Yes. If you buy the package, there is online support for that as well. So when you get there at the robotics part, there is assistance for that as well. You can also call me and I will help you to the best that I can. I'm going to do one last question here, then I'm going to move on. Is there any online support for lessons for younger learners, grade R to 3? Not yet. We are busy working on our guided learning platform, but we do have our CAMI, that is a mathematics program that you can use. So Marika will send you more information on that, as well as the robotics as well. Maybe there's some questions on that too. So we do, that is the online support that we have. And then I'm the online support. So if you struggle, you can just call us and there will be help. Send us an email and you will be helped. Okay. I do not understand Afrikaans. This is a question. Myself, how do I go about it with my children? I'm not really satisfied with the person I've got for them. If this is really affecting them, I will say get someone as fast as possible, someone else that will be able to help them. Otherwise, you can just send me an email and I might be able to help you in a different way. Okay. I am going to continue with our slide. So where to start? So you're new at this homeschooling now. So, sorry. So where do you start and what do you do? So you will receive your package and there will be a lot of books in there and it's a bit overwhelming. So you must start by setting up a schedule. So maybe you've got one child, maybe there's more than one child. So work out a schedule that will work for all of you. There's a suggested timetable in the front of each facilitator's guide. So I just used the grade 1 timetable there. It is, and the time allocations is there on there as well. How many time you need to spend on each subject every day. And yes, so work out a timetable that will work for you. Maybe it will take a day, maybe it will take a week, maybe you should start with a timetable and adjust it until it works for you and your children. Then allow a strict daily routine to ensure that you're always on top of everything. So that is very, very important to say, okay, we are starting at 9 o'clock each morning. Set that routine, especially for the younger kids. If you wake up and it's 11 o'clock and you start then and you're not organized, you will run into some serious problems with your children that misbehave and doesn't want to um, do their work and want to do other things because you can do other things. So get up, decide when to start, and keep to that strict daily routine. And then thorough preparation is the golden key to everything. Homeschooling is not put your child on a chair, put the books in front of him, and say, okay, there you go. So proper preparation is very important. If you are prepared, it will show the children that you need them to do this work now, and there's no question about it. They just have to do it. So make sure that that is done. Good. Multi-grade teaching. So most homeschoolers will have more than one child in a classroom. So you will maybe have a grade 1, a grade 3, and a grade 6 learner. Or maybe they are older. The older they are, the easier it gets. But it is important that each child have a place to sit. So start by have a room allocated for the teaching. If you are going to use your dining room table and every child pitch up whenever they like and sit down wherever they like and start with the work when they like, it's not going to work. You're going to fail terribly within the first month and your children will misbehave. So have a classroom. It can be the dining room table if you're not using it for anything else. But use a place. This is your place. When you get to school, we call it's still school. You sit down and you have your place. There's a nice picture. The mum homeschooling her 4 children, and everything is set up and in place for them. So yes, make sure there's a place to sit and work. It doesn't work to sit on a bed or another place. Make sure they have their own place, and it must be clean and tidy. So at the end of each day, and in schools they do it as well, you will clean up your table, you will put away everything that you used during the day, and you will be ready for the next day as well. And that's usually where the teacher's work or the mum's work start, is when the children are finished after a long day work. She will start doing the preparation for the next day. Their daily work must be ready to start so that you can start immediately. So the moment they walk into the classroom or the room you allocated for them, everything must be ready. If you're not ready, they're not ready. And then if you're unorganized, they will start to misbehave. You cannot walk in there in your pajamas with the coffee in your hand and tell the children, listen, get that book, you start here, you start there. It's just not going to work. So be organized and be there for them. Otherwise, your children will start to misbehave. So that is what Muhammad Shaikh also say. Structure is also important. You must set a safe environment, a structure for the learners to create a place where they can learn and where they feel safe to learn as well. Okay. So how to teach? Start or end the day with group activities. Yes, there are many subjects that you can combine. Many homeschool mums will say in the morning we start with a group activity like art. We also have Bible education or life skills, and that is something you can benefit from the other grades as well. So let's open our life skills book. The grade 1 learner is on my family. The grade 3 learner is on planets. But you can still do that as a group activity by telling a little bit of everybody's subject, and then they can start doing the work in their books. So art as well, you will just increase the level of difficulty the older the kids get. Then make use of a working trolley for each child. So I've seen this idea on Facebook. So you can use a working trolley. So you start on the first level. Number 1, you pack your trolley in drawer number 1. You say, good, we're going to start with a Bible activity in the morning. Number 2 is a life skills activity. They are both, say, group activities that you will do together. Then you put in a mathematics activity, and in the next drawer you put the first additional language activity, or everything they have to do throughout the day. So the child will get up in the morning, walk to their trolley, pull the trolley to the place where they sit. They will open the first drawer and they will know this is where they have to start. Now, another good idea to do is make use of a working, mark the subjects that they can do on their own with a marker, and leave those that they will need help with blank. So there I put a picture of markers or stickers. You can use anything. And those with markers or stickers or whatever you want to use, you put a little sticker on the trolley, on that drawer, and the learner will know, listen here, if I get to this drawer, mom needs to help me. So if mom is busy at that stage, they can just skip the drawer, going to the next one. If mom is not busy, you can call her and say, mom, please help me. This activity is I need help activity. So you can do anything interesting to make that work for you. Then involve everybody. Younger children can benefit from science experiments or history stories as well. So don't forget that it's interesting. Sometimes it's just fun to watch, but don't exclude them. Make them part of the science experiment, and as soon as you've done it, something will stuck into their little heads. And when they grow up and it's their turn to do it, they can learn all the sciencey stuff behind the activity. But at least they've done it and they know something about it already. Okay, schedule alone time. That is also very important. Is to sit one-on-one with your child. So each child needs some part of the day where you sit with them one-on-one to say, listen here, you do this, or you can revise some work. Maybe they did an activity and everything is wrong. So you will sit with them and say, listen, let's see what went wrong so that we can help you to do it right. So make sure you schedule those alone time. Also for the little clips you're going to use on those drawers to spend time with your child in that time. Good. I am going to look at some more questions. If you have any questions about multigrade teaching, please type your questions in the question box. I see there's a few hands up as well. I will first do the question box and then I'll give one or two of you to ask a question as well. Does Unpack arrange homeschool functions where we can make contact with other homeschoolers? Oh, I did that question already. So yes and no. So we do not have extracurricular activities. I think the best is to see in your community who's homeschooling there. Is there exams or assessments we need to do by a certain date for grade 3? The answer is yes. All assignments must be in by the 31st of December. So grade 1 to 3 is wonderful. It's self-paced learning, so you can start whenever you want and you can finish whenever you want. You can finish in August if you are a fast worker, or you can finish by the end of December if you are a bit slower. So you can do the assessments throughout the year. All we want to see is that the assessment is in there. From grade 4 onwards, they start with exams. So then there's certain dates for exams and tests and orals. So for that, you need to follow a strict timetable to ensure that you do all those. But for grade 1 to 3, we are still very flexible on that. We at the tutor center, how do you suggest we do the task during lockdown for grade 3 English? So for this uncertain times, yes, it's unfortunately it's very difficult. But if the learners do have a computer at home and you have a computer, as this webinar session, there are a lot of platforms that you can use to still teach them the lessons over long distance. Unpack do that as well. We're going to start next week with foundation phase lessons for little ones. So you can use Zoom, Teams. There's a few functions that you can use to teach over a long distance. Let me see. Can I register with the Department of Education online? So yes, you still need to register your child with the Department of Education. You can go onto their website and you will find all the forms that you need on there. So what I did from my side is everything that you need from MPAC is available on our platform that we use. It is My MPAC. So if you are registered with us, you can go onto there and you will find all the documents like the timetables and the curriculum and everything that I usually ask for is on there. So you can use that as well. So please, you must register your children with the Department of Education according to law. Let's see if there's another question. She said, thank you. We are using Zoom for lessons. Was just worried about tasks at the tutor center. Thanks so much for answering. So they can still do the tasks. They can, and you can just mark it when they are back, when the lockdown is over, even if it's September, October. So ask the mother or whoever is watching after them that they do the task and not peeking anywhere in their books, and they can still do it. They can still do their orals, their listening tests. You can do everything over Zoom. That should be a bit more difficult, but it should be possible. Let's see if there is any other questions. Are the lessons recorded? Can we get these recordings? Not all learners have access to internet at home, and as soon as we can start school, I want them to catch up previous lessons. Yes, if it's the lessons that will start next week, it will all be available on our platform, My Unpack, so we will make them available. Thank you, Carol, for asking that. What do we do if the Department of Education denies your request? You just reapply, or you keep the proof that you actually applied for that. I think it's quite important that you say, but I did apply and it was rejected. Usually it's not rejected, it's just they don't answer you. So just give proof that you did apply for that at the Department of Education. Thank you, Daryl, for asking. Good. I think that was all the questions. There's some more. Hello, my daughter attended mainstream school in term 1, grade 3 and passed the term. Now we are registered with MPAC. Do we still need to complete the MPAC term 1 assessment? No, it's not necessary to do that, but I would do that. It's in the portfolio book. It's not that much work to do. If you are planning to continue to homeschool, I would have done it, but if you are planning to send your child back to school, it's not necessary. What you can do is please send us the grade 1 or the term 1 report, and we keep it on file just as proof that you did term 1. So you can start off with term 2 and just capture the marks, everything online for the rest of the year. So for interest sake, you can do it, but it's not necessary now. Can we please get these questions and answers via email after the session? Yes, Tiffany. Marika is typing all the answers or questions or answers that on a document, and it will be emailed to you afterwards. So sometimes I do not have the answers and we need to find some answers, but we will give you a complete list of that afterwards. So you will get all the questions and answers. Good. is it compulsory to register with the Department of Education? Yes, it is. According to law, your child must be registered. Otherwise, they think that your child is not in a school anyway, and you are taking education away from your children. And they have the right of education. So please, you must register your child with the Department of Education as well. I see a hand. Hey, Andrews. I'm going to unmute you and then you can ask your question. Hello, can you hear me? Hey, Andrews. You can talk if you have a question. Oh, there you are.
Is it about the question? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I want to know, is it compulsory homeschooling as a parent to be affiliated with one? Hi. Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to know, is it compulsory for a homeschooling parent to be registered or be part of Impact, for example, another company, or can we just do it directly through? Okay. Or see with Impact you have extra support and it's cool and that kind of thing, but is it compulsory to have someone like that well basically with you by your side while you do it?
Okay, I'm going to mute you again. So the line was a bit breaking up, but as I understand, is it compulsory to use a place like Impact to do homeschooling? For foundation phase, no, but as soon as they get in the FET phase, it's grade 10 to grade 12, they need to be registered with the examining body, and then you will need to be with a place like Impact. We are using Sakai as our exam body, and then you really do need. So you can go to CNA, buy your own books, and sit with your child at home. And yes, you can homeschool from there. The thing is, you will have no assessments. That is one thing that we provide, and you will have no assistance from education specialists. So we are a full body of education specialists from foundation phase up to grade 12, where we can help you and assist you whenever you need us. So it's not compulsory. I'm going to take one more question. Carol Gardner. Okay, Carol, I unmuted you. Do you have a question for us?
No, I don't really. I was just wondering whether all these lessons are available on My Impact and where on My Impact we could get the lessons for any of them from foundation phase through to grade 9.
Okay, that was quite clear. Where can you get lessons? Okay, so there at this stage there's no lessons on My Impact, but we are using the guided learning platform for that. So on that there is lessons from grade 4 up to grade 12, and you will find not in all the subjects yet, but I know mathematics there's a lot of lessons on that, especially grade 12. I know we are working backwards on those. You will find lessons to explain the difficult concepts and timetables. So we are still working on foundation phase to set that up, because it's going to look a little bit different than the other phases. But if your children are older, you can already get something from there. Okay, so if you do not get access to that, just send us an email and we will help you to find those lessons. Okay, I'm going to continue, and then I will take some more questions at the end. Okay, so this is actually just a quick short mathematics tip that I want to share with you. So how do I get my child to be good at math? So mathematics is usually one of the subjects that children struggle with. That is unfortunately so. And why is that? Why do they struggle? And it all starts in foundation phase. Now, mathematics is all about putting numbers together and putting them apart through abstract thinking. Okay, I want you to look at the sum, 5 plus 9. And I want you to think of the answer, but I want you to do it in really slow motion. So what is going through your head the moment that you see the sum? What is pulling apart and putting together? So what is going on in your head? So you know you did something to get to the answer because it's an easy sum. So just think what happened. Okay, so one of the ways to solve this is by saying, okay, there's my sum. So the first one, say, I'm going to pull apart the 5. I'm going to divide it in a 4 and a 1. Then I'm going to move the 1 over to the 9. And then I'll have a 10 and a 4 left. So someone else, on the other hand, will say, I'm going to divide the 9 into a 5 and a 4, because 5 plus 5 plus 4 and 1 plus 4 plus 9. So you break up this, the sums, and 1 and the 9 will give me a 10, and the 5 and the 5 will give me a 10. So I round it up to 10, make it 10, and 10 plus 4 is 14. So this is pretty much what happened in your head. Now I want you to look at the screen. This is quite complex what is going on there. And we want our kids to understand this and just be able to do it. It's quite complex what is going on there. So first you start by pulling it apart. I've got a 5, and a 5 consists of a 4 and a 1. And I've got a 9 that consists out of a 5 and a 4. And immediately your brain just knew that. But for children, it's not something that comes naturally. It's something that needs to be taught. And I think this is one of the big secrets of mathematics. The moment you can do this sum by pulling numbers apart and putting them together again, this is the basics of math. If you can teach your child number sense by asking him 4, and he can immediately tell you it's a 1 and a 3, it's 22, it's a 0 and a 4, I think then you're halfway there. Because the moment you add more difficult numbers by saying this is the same sum except there's a 10 added to each of them, his brain will immediately remove the tens or remove the hundreds or remove the thousands or whatever you're challenging with by saying, okay, let's remove the tens. There I have a 1 and a 4, and I've got my 5 and my 4 again. Maybe you will round it up by making the 19 20, say 15 plus 20 minus 1. This is just one of the ways. I know there's a lot of different things that's actually going on in people's head when it gets to this. So, and there you will have it again. 1 plus 4 plus 9. Am I right now? Yes. And 5 plus 5 plus 4. You will make up the tens, add the tens together, and 20 plus that 10 plus the 4 will give you 34. So that is what's happening in your head, is pulling those numbers apart and putting them together again. And a lot of time, especially in grade 1, but you can do this with any foundation phase learner by sitting with them and say, listen, let's do number sense. You can do this a whole month, and I promise you, your child's mathematics skills will increase by 100%. So one of the games that you can play to make this possible is to get 10 coins or pieces of paper. This game is in our books as well. You can cut it out and color it in just 10 dots. And you hold them in your hand and you throw them on the table in front of you. And what do you see? At this stage, it's a 4 and a 6, and this will give you 10. You can do it with 5 dots, you can do it with 8 dots, or whatever you are doing, whichever number you are doing, to get this as fast as possible. So you will tell the child, first do the red dots, 4, and how many will the other be? And this must come automatically. And the faster they get at this, the better they will get at mathematics and mental maths by breaking up numbers and pulling them apart and putting them back together again. Another game you can play is with a deck of playing cards. You take out the jacks, the queens, and the kings. And the moment you've got a number combination up to 10, or you can play it up to 5, you can to play snack with it. So you put the cards on top of each other, and the moment there is a 5 and a 5 and it makes 10, you can say snap. Or an 8 and a 2, you can say snap and get the packet of cards for yourself. Then there's another game. I had this game in my classroom and it made a tremendous difference in the mathematics skills of the learners. So as you can see on the screen, it's Hully Gully, and there's a lot of fruit on the table. So there's 5 players. I know you get 2 sets, one that goes up to 5 and one that goes up to 10. So this one is up to 5. So the moment, so each learner will turn a card around in front of them, and the moment you see like 5 bananas or 5 lemons or 5 strawberries, you tick on the bell and the bell goes off, and if you are right, you will get everybody's card. So there's different fruit on the card, and as they turn the cards, it appears, and you put it on top of the heap, and the 1 banana will go away and become 2 strawberries. And then there will be 1 extra strawberry, and when there's 5 strawberries, you can just ring the bell. Then there's domino parking lot. You can do a lot with dominoes. Dominoes are excellent ways. Put them on a paper, give the child a domino, and see each day how fast they can put the dominoes on their parking lots. And then snakes and ladders by rolling dice. Dice is also one of the best methods to use to get your child to do number combinations. So yes, that is just a quick tip on what you can do with mathematics. Any more questions? I'm going to look at my question box now, and then I will answer you, and then I will give a few people a chance to answer questions as well. So if you have a question, please raise your hand so that I can see there's questions there. I see there's a few, and there's a lot of questions. If you are a faster typer, please rather type your question. Just get to the end here. Sorry. Please advise where on my Unpack we will find the lessons for grades 4 to 9. You will not be able to find it on my Unpack. It is on another platform. So Marika will send you the details on that platform as well. Another question. Okay, let's give some people a chance to ask. Yolandi Olivier, I'm going to unmute you. You are muted. You're self-muted, so I cannot unmute you. Okay, let's move on. Shamilia. I hope I said Shamilia. I unmuted you. Would you please ask your question? Shamilia, are you there? Nope. Let's ask. I'm not going to pronounce it right, but I'm going to try Rukayat. Ajay. You are also self-muted, so I cannot unmute you. Okay. Pat Verdong. Pat, you are on.
Hi, sorry, I didn't ask a question. I was just listening in.
Oh.
Sorry,
No,
I don't know if something might have pressed you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see if there's more hands. Magda van der Merwe, do you have a question for us?
Nee, ek het nie 'n vraag nie.
Nee, vraag nie. Lucinda Dixon, you are self-muted, so I cannot unmute you. You must unmute yourself. Okay, let's see. See, there's a few more questions in our chat box. Is it possible to have tips or lessons for the facilitators on the lessons, for example, tips on teaching phonics? Yes, sure. Like I said, next week we will start by doing a lot of foundation phase lessons for children, where we can do, no, that's teaching, but sorry, no, that's not what you want. You want to know how to teach them phonics. You're welcome to call me. I will share some of my tips and tricks, and then further just keep an eye open for our webinars. I think after this one I will do some content related webinars as well, so you're welcome to just look out if there's any more webinars coming up. Otherwise, you can call me and I will give you some tips or tricks myself that I can help you with. Then there's, hi Hilda, my son is doing grade 2 and we are still struggling with reading. Please, can you give any advice on any techniques I can use to help him? I will send you an email, so I will just ask Marika to send this to me, then I will send you an email on how you can help him, and we can just start a conversation to see what is wrong, what went wrong in grade 1 and why is he still struggling with that, and then I can help you on that. So I'll get back to you. when registering with the Department of Education, where on My Impact can we download the assessment plan for the grade to be attached to the registration form. It is under academics and I have put it under subject content. Okay, so Marika or Suzanne will also type this out for you. So when you go on academic subject content, and I think I'm gonna lie to you, I think it's Department of Education forms. You can just click on those and that is what you will usually need. It's only for grade 1 though. If you need it for the other grades, everything is in the facilitator's guides, so you can just make copies of it from there. It's just I just made it a little bit more easy for those of you, some of you. Since my children, grade R and grade 1, are starting the program this month, will they have to complete the whole year's syllabus before December? It's compulsory. Okay, let's answer that one first. No, it's not compulsory. So in foundation phase, we still have the option to extend the year. So you can do it in one year over 2 years. If you don't want to do it, you can call our assessment department and they will likely give you an extend to do it until the end of February. But by the end of February, the questions or the marks must be in. If it's not in by then, you will automatically be switched over to a extended period student, and then the learners will have to do the year in over 2 years time. Okay, I'm going to do 2 last questions and then it will be the end of our session. The rest of the questions Marika will type out for you. Do we have just want to answer Can I follow the impact curriculum and my Montessori curriculum simultaneously? Yes, you can. I like the Montessori curriculum very much, so it's a very good curriculum to follow. Yes, you can. I think where impact provides a lot more worksheets, you can do the Montessori with it as well. You will actually have to do the assessments. That is all what we are interested in that end of the term. So you can do that. See, one last question. What if a child in grade 2 is finished the books by the middle of the year? Can we register them for the next grade in the same year? Yes, you can. Yes, you can do that. So that is not a problem. You can do 2 grades in 1 year. It is possible. It's not recommended, but it's possible. How would you teach a Zulu child in grade 1 that's just learning English? Do we have to do Afrikaans at this stage or maybe add later in the year? I would suggest that you go for the option to do grade 1 over 2 years, just to catch up on the language as well. So that is a possibility and I think you should use it. And then you can worry on Afrikaans the next year, because to learn a whole new language and all the phonics in the language and other subjects in the language, it's quite difficult and hard on them. Okay, Marika will answer the rest of the questions for you. And then you must have a great day. So if you're not registered with Impact, you can still register with us. Thank you very much.